Just totally this over. Do you?
You may go.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, good morning.
Welcome.
Happy Monday. I mean, the Monday after Super Bowl.
Super Monday.
Who's dragging?
Congratulations that you are up right now.
Not even that bad though. Here, I think in Arizona, it ended
No.
like at 8:30ish?
It was 8 o'clock.
Yeah, so it wasn't that bad. It was just those people that were celebrating the win that I think
Right.
had to stay up late
Right.
to party.
I think that whole deal with like having to call in sick, that's probably more of an East Coast
East
thing.
Coast, 'cause it was so late.
Yeah, I grew up on the East Coast. It is a little tough. Sporting events in that time zone
News
are
starts
rough.
at 11.
Oh my
If
goodness.
you're
gosh.
lucky.
The worst is like the World Series or Monday Night
baseball
Football
kills
because
you.
it goes so it's like after midnight.
Extra innings, and you're just, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's super tough. So here, that's probably one of my favorite things, honestly, when I
Yeah.
moved here, because I can watch my award shows.
I
can
still go to
watch
bed.
and I'm still getting in bed by my bedtime. So
Yeah.
I'm like, this is amazing. And on Sundays, we were saying, like, football starts here at 10 a.m. sometimes. So your whole day is like, this is fantastic. I feel like I'm being so productive.
Well, I guess for me too, I stayed home and watched it, so it's like I was just home. But those
Yeah.
people that were out at parties and
Yeah.
stuff, they're probably like, I don't want to go. I still want to drink and have
Right.
fun and eat.
It's still early.
I don't want to leave at 8:30 to go home and go to bed.
I was
Yeah.
sleepy. I was ready to go home. After the Super Bowl halftime show, I
Yeah.
was like, okay, I'm done here. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, you were tired after watching that. You need to go
I
take a
was
nap.
exhausted.
That's our topic of today's show. That was the only thing I watched. I mean, I had it on, but I only focused on the halftime show.
Totally.
And some people were saying it was a little bit too
hot for
too
TV.
too much for TV, too racy, too sexy. But I mean, with those two ladies, what do you expect anyway, right?
It's literally Miami. We knew they were going to bring on the sexy cheeks.
Yeah.
So you just have to be an appreciator.
Yeah.
I'm an appreciator. I'm like, those women are 43
And 50.
years old. It was funny because one of my friends back home tweeted a picture. Remember Blanche
Oh,
from the
yeah.
Golden Girls? She's like, this was 50 years old in 1985. J-Lo, this is 50 years old in 2020. You're like, but think about that.
Yeah.
I mean, times have changed.
No, they look incredible.
You gotta flaunt it.
The show was wonderful. I mean, if you take
so
any
well-produced.
of that and opinions are mixed on that, first of all, about whether or not it was
Yeah,
too
we
much.
have some
But the show was wonderful. It was choreographed beautifully.
Yes.
And clearly they had worked on that for a long time, because that is not something that you can put together in just a week.
No.
They were unbelievable.
Both very, very, very talented women.
Yes. And what we didn't even get into this morning, which might have been my favorite part, and I didn't even know it when I was watching it, was when J-Lo's daughter came out and helped sing.
Emmy.
Yes, because I didn't even know at the time as I was
cute.
watching. I was like, oh, who's that girl? She's got a wonderful voice.
Yes.
And then I come to find out that it was J-Lo's daughter and Mark Anthony and
Anthony.
J-Lo's daughter.
Some good genes right
Unbelievable.
there.
Yeah,
I know.
no kidding.
I know. So a while back, when J-Lo was preparing for her Vegas show, she put out video on Instagram of her daughter singing an Alicia Keys song. Let me just tell you, that daughter's voice is unbelievable. Like, when she grows up, she's gonna, because J-Lo, over the years, like I saw J-Lo at the very beginning of her career singing, and now, I mean, she's trained her voice to be what it is. She's not the greatest singer on the planet, we know that, but
She's a great performer.
Yeah.
She's an amazing
Right.
performer.
the daughter is amazing. I say she's one to watch.
Yeah.
Down the road.
Even her, when J-Lo was here for her tour, she brought her daughter out for a little bit.
Yeah,
And then
yeah, she
she
did.
does a little
That's right.
duet with her. And it's, so you had to expect it, I think, for this, you
Yeah.
know.
I was
It
so
cute.
excited. I know. Because I was thinking, God, can you imagine? Because what is she, 11? I was surprised she brought her out on because that's a world stage.
No
you get
kidding.
one shot at Super Bowl halftime. That's it. Like, that's a lot of pressure for an 11-year-old.
Oh my.
It was cute. There was some video footage that came out last night of them prepping before they went on, you know, so they were both waiting down.
Yeah.
And Shakira was performing, and like they're fixing J-Lo's hair and prepping her, and people are hugging her, and her daughter's just like dancing and
Right.
moving, and
I
like, you know,
love
they're
it.
getting hyped. They're like,
Getting
okay,
hyped.
we got this. We're gonna do this together. Like, how awesome is that?
So what did you guys think? I think the question today is, and definitely it was split. By the end of the show, the poll was split.
I was surprised. I didn't think this was going to gain as much traction as it did. I thought most people would just be like, no, it wasn't too racy at all. And we had a lot of different comments. Brenda tells us that it's ridiculous and not family friendly. Jennifer said it was amazing. Bonnie said it was one of the better ones that she's seen. It was fun to watch, Todd says. I'm sure Todd feels that way. That's how I felt too. I feel you, Todd. No, it was wonderful. Lisa said it was terrible. Karen said it was gross. So like it goes like back and forth.
Full spectrum.
Yeah.
On this whole thing. Now we can get into what we think in just a second, but first, in just one word answer, was it too much in terms of sex appeal? Crystal.
Yeah, we'll go down there.
Sonya's saying that she loves the awesome female power. And, you know, let me tell you, I have yet to watch the halftime show because I was at the airport. And here's a great traveling tip. Travel on Super Bowl.
Yeah,
there was nobody there at LAX.
I bet.
Not a soul. And you know that you have to like go hours and hours early. Not a soul. And I was like one of the first to board my plane. So I have not yet seen it. But I am a huge Shakira, J-Lo fan. And you know what? Also someone who has, I grew up doing all kinds of different kinds of dance.
Belly dance
including belly dancing. And there's something so beautiful, you know, I just see that type of dance so beautiful. And it's, you know, maybe not meant to be so sexy, but it comes off that way. So you kind of have to look at the cultural side of it and the history of it and the beauty of it in that way. But then to others, it may come off as very provocative and you know, maybe some take it too far. I haven't yet seen it.
It was sensual, but it wasn't. I don't feel like Shakira's was as overt.
No.
Okay.
I mean, J-Lo was literally hanging from a pole.
Yeah, J-Lo was pole dancing.
But that was from the movie, too.
Yes.
She was in Hustlers.
So it's like she spent a lot of time on the pole in 2019, so you might as well use that skill set.
Okay.
She was amazing at that, by the way.
Wait, how does that happen where she like stayed up and like,
girl?
Like, is there like a magnet between her boobs and the pole to like stick it to the pole? You see that one where she had her arms all the way open and she was still up against it?
No, the guy was hoisting her.
Was he?
So there were
That's
some gentlemen that were giving her a little boost from below.
I was like,
a boost from below.
I was telling
that could
Ryan,
be the
boost from below. I was telling Ryan though, so I'd seen J-Lo in Vegas, and I'm going to tell you right now that this show was like the PG version of the Vegas show, because the Vegas, first of all, the costumes, she's literally like in a thong most of Vegas.
Yeah, I've seen that one too.
Yeah, so this one I was like, oh look, they put some little extra panels over there. You could tell those were add-ons, the silver panels at the end. I'm like, those weren't in the Vegas show. But I think that my only complaint was I felt like, I don't know if it was intentional or not, but there were a lot of direct crotch shots.
Right.
And I felt like that was too much.
So the camera angle.
So I think the camera angles is what.
Yeah.
I don't think the performance was too much. I just think how the camera angles focused on. I was trying to get some footage for Instagram, and I showed it to Crystal. And there was one shot I got, and it's just like J-Lo's butt like all up in there, and I'm like, whoa! I probably should have
that part where she
posted
bent over.
Yes. And that was a lot. Like I didn't even want to post that because one, I didn't want to do that to a female. You know what I mean? But it was just like they had it so close that I got that shot, and I don't think they should have. I just think they needed to change their camera angles a little bit, their camera shots.
The best for a family show.
Right.
Can I ask this question, because I did have one comment on my Facebook page, and I'm not qualified to ask it, just being a guy. But one woman mentioned on my Facebook page that she was upset about it, and she was upset about it in large part because in today's day and age, there's such a push for women to not be sexualized, and for that not to be a thing, and it's happening too often in our society. And this particular woman felt like it was a step back in terms of that movement. And of course, I'm not qualified to talk about this, so I want to ask the question though, because that was one of the comments that was brought up. Do you feel like that does take a step back for the movement to try and become less sexualized in the media?
I felt like because the whole goal of the show was powerful Latin women.
Latinas are very sexy in
they're
general.
Very sexy,
like
very
our
powerful,
culture is very sexy.
The point, they're in control of their own image.
Yeah.
And they are the ones who choreographed it this way. They are the ones that have worked hard on the training and the dancing and all those things. So I feel like when you're in control of that image, it's different than when you're exploited. I don't feel like it,
it was their choice.
Feels like she's exploited.
It was their choice to dress that way. It was their choice to do these dance moves. That's J-Lo's thing, and so Shakira's thing. Her hips don't lie. Like, she shakes them all the time. She's always showing her belly. Like, that's just how Shakira's always been, and same thing with J-Lo. And like I said, it was a huge, like everybody that was posting, it was a huge thing for the Latino community because to have two of them performing and such an amazing job, and two women at that, like, you know, it was a big
And it was
deal.
the first all Latin halftime show,
Yes.
so there's groundbreaking in
All
that
the
way.
guest artists were Latin as well.
I think part of that is, as you mentioned, Crystal, is the cultural aspect. I think that there's a lot of people who are used to that were just like, well, I don't understand what anybody's upset about.
Right.
And then there's folks who have never been to a Latin club, or
exposed
they've
to
never
that.
seen anything like. They've never
do
seen
yourself
belly
a favor,
dancers.
watch
Yeah.
Telemundo one day.
I know. Yeah, like,
versus what
yes,
we do.
it's
like,
so
we are
true.
school marms compared to the sexy mamas on Telemundo.
They wear little dresses, and everything's
teeny tiny.
yeah, hanging out. And even the dancing that we do, you know, like the merengue, the bachata, everything is like close and sexy and sensual, and it's just
The Latin
it's just-
fire.
Yeah, so it's our thing,
Right.
you know.
It's good. You know, I was talking to one of the producers today. We were chatting about this show and everything, and I'm like, you know, what's always interesting to me is that women performers, these are two great examples because they have been around for so long. They're always having to reinvent. They're always having to push the envelope. They're always having to stay tight and high and perfect and everything that goes along with that. Meanwhile, y'all roll out the Rolling Stones, old, sad. They literally just stand there and play their guitars. They have all these, Aerosmith, who I love Rolling Stones. I love Aerosmith. But those guys have been doing it for 100 years and they just stand there. And
Right.
people are like, oh, why is Shakira and J-Lo doing all this?
it's a performance.
Dancing and production and all this stuff. It's like, well, the guys can just show up. Okay, and that's literally how it is.
The energy was phenomenal.
Amazing energy.
It was great energy, and the lights were amazing. The whole idea of it. I mean,
production,
they did
yeah.
a great job.
All the dancers they had, all their backup dancers, that was a lot of work.
Yeah.
To choreograph all of them. You know, so one of the things, speaking about culture, we were talking about it earlier, is Shakira's tongue move.
Yes.
That she
Yes.
did, or that noise.
Ululation.
Yes.
We found out, we looked it up today.
So it's a cultural thing, and that's why
Word of the
she did that. But at first, I
Here
think
it
so
is.
many people that were like thrown off about it. They're like,
Like, what
whoa.
is she doing? Like, it's a celebratory culture. Yeah, a lot of Middle Eastern cultures do that.
Initially, I thought she was going to do like Pitbull does, you know. Yes,
This
that's
one
what I
was like,
thought. And then, like, she mixed it up a little bit.
She's like, what is that?
You are great at all
Yeah,
these
my goodness. All right, move the table. We're doing a performance.
I know, I love it. But yeah, so I think a lot of people were, you know, kind of taken aback by that. But yeah.
I don't understand.
Exactly.
Siri doesn't get it.
Siri.
This is not the first time someone to say that to me today.
Oh my God.
I don't understand. Why does Siri have a British accent?
I love being yelled at by Brits.
Oh.
So this is my thing. Like, I love, like, when you're telling me what to do, you're giving me directions. I'd rather hear it from a British man than, like, a woman with an American accent. So,
I don't understand.
difference. So my Siri is always a British gent.
We have so many mixed reviews.
Yeah.
Right. Turn left, please.
Kathy's like, what is this world coming to? Horrible show. I don't think it was horrible, but Deborah said, I found it entertaining and energetic. Shakira really took it home. Probably not the best idea for J-Lo to do the pole dancing thing, but it did not bother me. But the only reason she did it was because of Hustlers.
Hustlers. It was literally her 2019 moment.
Yeah.
Louise said, are you kidding me? They were both amazing.
They
Kayla
were.
said, I would be jealous too. J-Lo's 50 and can move and look like that. People are just hating on her.
Look, that's the thing that like I took away from that. Like, she's 50.
Yeah.
amazing.
And she has
She
two
looks-
kids.
Great.
I mean, she is a celebrity, right? So she has a trainer and she has, I'm sure, a chef and somebody that
works
cooks for her.
hard, man.
But like, she also works multiple jobs. So she's not like,
Yeah.
she has a lot on her plate, you know, and she's killing
Let me
it.
tell you, one of the funny ones, because of course I stalk them regularly, is A-Rod on Instagram after one of J-Lo's, I think it was when she first opened up the Vegas show, and A-Rod is with her, right? And he's like, J-Lo goes on stage, dances for 3.5 hours nonstop, and she the next day is like up working out. A-Rod was just in the audience dancing, and he's like, I have to go get iced. From just standing on his feet watching. He's a professional athlete, don't forget. It was. But they do work out together.
Yeah.
And he's trying to keep up with her. And don't forget, he's younger.
Right.
Y'all forget that sometimes.
No, yeah, no.
He's
that
younger.
is true.
He's trying to keep up with her.
I mean, she's unbelievable. I loved the show. I really did.
You really did. You were like, oh, it was great.
I thought, not to change the subject, but I thought everything about the Super Bowl was great, except I thought the commercials were a little lackluster.
ones, but
There were some
overall.
good ones. I loved the Cheetos one with MC
Yeah.
Hammer. Can't touch
Can't
this.
touch this.
Phenomenal. Loved the Groundhog Day one with Bill Murray and the Jeep
Yeah, that
commercial.
was
I
cute.
thought that was excellent as well, especially because it was on Groundhog Day. That doesn't always end up happening. I was a big fan of the Tom Brady Hulu commercial because it kept more people talking about the speculation and all that sort of stuff. But
Tom Brady.
other than that, I don't know.
I like
just
the one
didn't
that
love
the
them.
self-parking car.
Yeah, that was a good one too.
I thought that was right.
I didn't see a
Park
lot
the
of them.
car.
Park the car. And yeah.
I did like the laundry one. How they were like, wait till later, you know, because people.
yeah.
I was trying. I was thinking it was Tide, and he kept. Who's that comedian guy? It's like he's on a TV
always
show.
forget his name.
And he's holding, and they're like, nope, just wait. Put it off till tomorrow. And I was like doing laundry while I'm watching. But I was like,
already
that's
one step
true.
ahead.
You know, you got to put it off because the
Yeah.
Super Bowl is a big deal. Just put it aside.
Yeah. Well, they had this campaign all year where like Sundays are not for laundry. They're for football, and that was like a campaign that they were doing all year.
Oh, okay.
And so I think they were trying to like have the payoff
That's
of
cool.
it. Yeah, I don't know. Of course, there were some good ones, but overall, I felt like it was a little down on the commercials.
The Little Nas X one was pretty
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, the Doritos one.
Yeah, the
that one.
Doritos where he was dancing.
Yeah, with Sam Elliott,
Yeah.
the dance off there, that was really good. I loved when I was like blown away by when his mustache started dancing. I was like, oh, that's great. That was their first
It's iconic.
like installment of the dance off. That should have been his like ending move. I felt like.
Did it and took it home.
Did
Yeah.
anybody watch the Puppy Bowl? That's what I watched on Super Bowl Sunday. The Puppy Bowl. My favorite part.
Well,
That's
you could always watch the puppy bowl at halftime if you thought that it was too racy.
That's
Ooh.
But
This,
then again, those puppies, none of them are wearing clothes. So
they got
naked.
Well, same thing's wearing no clothes. Mona brought up, loved it. Why didn't anyone complain when Adam wore no shirt last year on the show?
But
Let's
here's
grow
the
up
thing.
and stop knocking
Here-
these ladies. They looked and did amazing.
here's the thing, they did.
People did
Yeah.
bring
They
it up.
absolutely did.
Yeah,
There
about
was
it.
totally a bunch of uproar
double
last year about
Yeah,
that.
because I remember being pro Adam shirtless.
Yeah.
Well, some people weren't.
And it's okay. And we brought that up in our segment on the show, too.
Yeah.
We showed that the Adam Levine thing. That was absolutely a discussion last year.
because after the whole Janet thing, it was just, yeah.
Is anybody ever happy? Like everybody?
No, but that's the thing. Is, can you imagine trying to pick
You can't
one
please
group
everybody.
Yeah.
that's going to please
Yeah.
all of America? It's
Right.
impossible. Do you know who I think, though, came fairly close? Like two ones that I always remember, Prince and Bruno Mars. Because I feel like those are like...
Bruno Mars was good.
Bruno Mars
I'm
is
trying to remember.
pretty
I
palatable.
hear a
about
lot of
Katy
mixed
Perry?
ones on this, but I loved the
Katy
Katy
Perry's was
Perry
good,
one
yeah.
when that was here. That was the last
Yeah.
one in Arizona. I loved the Katy Perry one. Here, it was, whether it was too sexualized, whatever, the show itself, the performance was tremendous. And I think that if we're complaining about the sexual nature of it, I think that's a good thing. Because more often than not, we're complaining about the show being trash.
That was just
the
a
show
dud.
is not trash. The
No,
show
it
was
was great.
great.
Yeah.
The performance was phenomenal. Everything about it, the dancing, all that. And so I'm just happy. I'm happy that we're having this discussion and not like, oh, that was a boring halftime
Right.
show last night.
It definitely suited Miami. Like, you have to remember everything Miami is, what it stands for, the whole thing. As I say, my only complaint was that Pitbull didn't appear.
I know you thought that was going to happen.
That was a travesty.
Yeah, he was in a commercial.
It's not enough.
Yeah.
It's not. You never
She
know.
requires.
I was waiting for him to
get her
come out the
Pitbull
whole
fix.
time.
How could you have Mr. 305 absent in the 305?
I agree.
And don't tell me he was in a pregame thing because it does not matter. So that's my only complaint.
What about the Kobe? You said they said it wasn't
Yeah.
in the halftime show.
So there was apparently a tribute to Kobe Bryant during the show, and there was a section where they actually had a cross. Like the stage, it was a big circle. So they lit up on the side of the circle with all gold, which is one of the Lakers' colors, and then there was a cross at the top. But there was no mention of it. It just kind of happened.
But I thought it was the female sign.
That's what I thought when I first saw it, but it did start to get a little somber. And I remember I said to my wife, I was like, "Oh, here's the Kobe tribute. It's about to happen." And then it just ended. And
So I
so,
think that was the children in cages.
oh,
Did you see that part? Yeah, the children in cages. They were saying that was a reference, obviously, to everything going on right after the Puerto Rico
yeah.
salute. So So maybe that was just too much to get in. The children in the cages, the hits don't lie, the Kobe tribute. Maybe it was just too much to cram in.
Yeah, there's a lot
one
going on.
thing.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot. But I feel like if you're going to do the Kobe thing, you got to do it. You got to say something, or there needs to be like a pic, like a photo comes up somewhere. Otherwise, don't do it.
Because they did a big tribute to him before kickoff.
Yes.
So I felt like, they kind of covered that ground.
Yeah, they didn't have to do it, but the problem, they said they were going to do it earlier in the week, and so everybody was kind of looking for it.
Wait, side note, I'm just distracted because we have cleaning guys.
Yeah, I thought
They're
there was
cleaning
somebody
the windows,
was
and I'm
gonna
like,
repel.
whoa, this guy just like came out of nowhere. Do you want to get a picture of this?
Dave, can you come show this guy's about to rappel up the window here?
Like,
hard.
whoa, where'd that guy come from?
Good thing they're getting it done now. It's going to be windy later and knock them
Oh my
around
gosh,
up there.
Crystal.
We have two of them. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's why they're getting
We
it
don't
done
get
now.
70-mile-an-hour winds often.
Well, it won't be 70 here in the valley, but it will get breezy definitely later on this afternoon.
So we're gonna have to bundle up tomorrow.
Oh my
Tomorrow's
goodness.
Uggs Day.
Cover your plants tonight before you hit the hay.
So
Get your
I did
Uggs.
see some people had their plants covered.
They're
so
ready.
It is a hard freeze.
Yeah, not a hard freeze right here per se, but a little bit. There's a hard freeze watch in northwestern Arizona and kind of points just south and east of the valley, but we'll get low 30s tonight, so definitely cover those plants.
Can we just
before
put
you go to
sheets on them?
bed. You do sheets.
There's like a whole thing about that.
There's I remember learning some tips from a local nursery too. You could even do like your Christmas lights and turn them on the plant. It helps warm.
That's smart.
That's a good idea.
You can kind
Break
of
those back
soak
out.
the soil because water, doesn't chill as quickly as the air does, and so it'll kind of help. Yeah, I'd say just a good blanket.
We don't really get like the dew that's gonna freeze on it.
Right.
It's
Right.
still a dry cold.
Oh, and on the cactus, put the little sensitive cacti, put the little styrofoam cups on the top of them.
Cute.
Yeah.
Who knew?
Speaking of cacti, it was funny. My friends and I were out this weekend, at the open, and there was a lot of out-of-towners. And some guy was talking about the cacti, but he called it cactuses. He goes, "There's so many cactuses are all around
Rookie
here."
move.
And her and I are like, cacti. Because in Arizona, we know that a plural is cacti,
Yes.
but all the out-of-towners don't know. So it was just funny because he was like talking in front of a lot of people.
It wasn't the same guy that jumped in the canal, right? No, that's a story for another day.
Sure is. All right, that's gonna do it for
Morons.
us. Have a blessed
Thanks, guys.
day.
Bundle up out there.
Evaluation.
I'm going to go watch the Super Bowl halftime show again on YouTube.